Hello everyone, this is Plunkera, and welcome to my universe. Today, we're going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. Yesterday, I worked a little bit on the right side, that being her right, not mine. But now I think I'm ready to go back over to this strand. I feel a little bit better today. But before I do that, I just want to fix a little bit on what I did on this strand right here. I think I can make it look a little bit better than it is, and it's going to be sliding all over the place while I'm trying to pay attention to other stuff, and that's just going to be distracting, so I'd like to go ahead and fix that up first. I think I just had the effect I was putting on it a little bit too strong. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit better. Now I just got some parts shifting in it. So I will go ahead and fix that. Let me make sure I understand how it's shifting here. Yeah, I do. Just adjust all these vertices back up this way. Get this little curl right. It was bothering me a little bit when I looked at it this morning, so I want to fix up that little curl too. Alright, so now I just gotta find the right place for all these little parts. Sometimes it takes me a second, but I really don't like it when there's shifting upwards and downwards in the strands. I just feel like it's much more noticeable than it is on other areas of the hair here. A lot of the time I can just ignore it, but on the strand it just feels like the entire thing is a wiggling. And that's just weird. With physics, it might not look so bad with a little bit of wiggling, but I don't really want to count on that. That sounds dangerous. Rather just get it now. Because yeah, there we go. That wasn't so bad. Alright. This strand here. This strand has given me trouble on nearly every single direction of the head turn. Actually, before I do that, I see some sliding on the one in front of it, so I want to check the mesh here. Because it kind of looks like there's some shenanigans happening around here. Now that I look at things a little bit more closely. I think it's inevitable to an extent, because I do want the hair to look like it's kind of receding back into the distance, back to the side of her head. So naturally the vertices won't be one-to-one, but I don't know, there is something that doesn't look quite right here. Let's see if I can pull that out. A little bit of weird shifting, like right through there. Right in the middle. I probably just have a certain vertex in the center. A little bit too high or too low. Oh, I don't know, it doesn't look too bad there. So now I do wonder what exactly I am seeing. Well, that's alright, I can take a quick look before I jump into the next area. After all, the next area is very scary, and this lets me procrastinate. So that sounds like a win to me. Okay, so let's see if that got rid of the worst of it. Or if there's any more that I have to deal with here. I don't know, it still kind of feels like it's growing near the bottom. It's like my brain has been a little bit off this week. So I'm not surprised that I might have missed a few areas that don't look quite right. Honestly, I didn't get much sleep last night, so wouldn't be surprised if I'm not entirely here today, too. But I'm still feeling a little bit more present than I have the past couple of days, so that's nice. That's why I feel like I can actually go ahead and tackle the hard strand. Gotta capitalize on that when I'm feeling at least relatively decent. And I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a few little details done with it. Because all of these do have to get done at some point, and now that I'm able to notice some of these problems, it'd be kind of a shame if I just left them. Just ignored them. That's not the way I want to be. I do like to actually tackle my problems, even though I say that I'm procrastinating from the other strand there. It's fine. I'll get to it. All in good time. Okay. So now I think it is time. So I'm going to start from the top. And I just want to get the transition color right there in the right spot. Something that has been eluding me for the past couple of days. Every time I think I get it right, it's a little bit off and I'm not sure why. Something about it looks squirmy and wrong and all this other stuff that I don't really want in my hair. So I'm gonna poke at it a little bit here, but I think before too long I am just going to look at the mesh and see how it is being distorted. Oh my. Maybe straightening out some of these triangles and making them a little bit more like the original will help me out. It's at least something that I can try. It's a start. As long as I treat it carefully, everything should work out. Just gotta try a little bit harder here. Give everything a little bit more attention. Possibly a lot more. We shall see. I see. So part of the problem here is that my attempts to just hide everything under the rug is coming back to bite me. I knew it would eventually. That's the downside to just hiding your problems under the rug instead of facing them head on. But I wanted to work on other strands, so it was fine. Because for a little while I had some stuff that was like sticking out like this, and it looked kind of bad. So rather than deal with it immediately, I just kind of tucked it behind the strand here and called it good, figuring that my future self would eventually make all that right. And that is accurate. But now I am the future self. I am the future self that must fix everything. I wouldn't say I regret it, just because it did let me get through those other parts in an efficient manner. It really did. And now that part's done, so it is time to work on the next parts, and that is why I must pay for my, I wouldn't call it laziness, but my procrastination. I put it off until later. And now later has come. Later is now. It's alright, I won't put it off anymore. I'm gonna get all these spots into the right place now. Even the hardest, most uncooperative strand. Let me tell you, this is definitely one of the more uncooperative ones. I'm sure it does its best, but I think it might just not like me very much. It's okay. Sometimes it's like that. Whoa there. I was spinning an autosave. The program lagged for a second there, and suddenly my cursor is just like the other side of the planet. Doesn't know what's going on at all. Alright, but I think I'm making some progress here. Honestly, I feel like once I figure out this area, the rest should come along pretty well. I have no real basis for saying this, but it seems logical. I choose to believe it for the time being. Just fix the next thing and everything will become easy. Yeah. Doesn't that sound nice? But I do think I'm getting there overall. I'm probably just going to be switching back and forth between looking at the art and looking at the mesh. I do think it's going to be necessary to an extent because, I don't know, this strand is just really hard. I don't know why, but it is. There are many things where I don't know why it's true, I just know that it is. It's true in science too, just look at quantum mechanics. Things a complete mess of just theoretical math. And things that we just kind of understand, but it's just like, how is this even possible? Dude, things get wild once you get to the, really big things and the really small things. Really big things being like planets and space. And the really small things just being quantum particles and all that stuff. Reality just completely breaks. It's beautiful. Everything you know is wrong. Everything you know is wrong, and I think there's something kind of special about that. Gotta relearn about yourself and the world around you every day. Never take anything for granted. It's important. Alright. So here I've been working my way down the strand a little bit. I'm gonna zoom in and up here, crop things off just to make sure I'm getting things right here, and I am not. Not yet. Even right here isn't quite right. Oh, that's so tricky. This strand, man, it gets me every time, I swear. I honestly don't know what it is about it. It is so counterintuitive to me. It's like, yeah, the texturing on it is a bit weird. And it doesn't seem like it should be this hard to understand. Remember what I said about everything you know is wrong and you gotta relearn what everything is every day? Oh, there you go. This is one such example. One such example where just because I don't think it should be this hard doesn't mean it's not going to. It's one of those things of it is what it is. And that's just how it's working out. It's fine. I'll get through it. I'll get through it. On the bright side, I do think I have up here mostly right. I still see a little bit of twitching right through there. But I've really figured out, like, most of it. In fact, I think it might actually be worth grabbing things a little bit further down. Just so that it's not squirming quite so hard while I'm trying to put the last tiny finishing touches on the upper area. It's like I say this while I continue to work on the upper area, but that's just because I'm saying these things as I think about them. And that just kind of happens when I talk without a filter and just say whatever comes to mind. As I like to put it with this kind of talk, whatever intrusive thoughts come into my head. Whatever pops in just kind of comes out of my mouth. Only way I can keep talking for this long. It'd be pretty much impossible otherwise. So this is a case where I know this is a little bit off, but I want to see how. Like I said, this strand is just very strange. I couldn't tell you what is so strange about it, but something about it is just, it feels very strange. I don't understand it at all. But it does make it very hard to work with properly. Because things that seem like should help doesn't. And sometimes things that don't seem like they should help do. Truly an interesting conundrum. I wish I understood how this area works better. But I am kind of approaching the end of my time with it, so I will probably never figure it out too deeply. It will just be a question that I carry with me to my future rigs. What makes something so hard? What makes something easy? What can I do to speed up the process? And what do I need to do to understand everything a little bit better? But I suppose I do have quite a bit more to do on the head turn still. It's like I say, I'm almost done because, well, I mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's like I've done the cardinal directions, it's just the corners, man. The corners are gonna be hell. So overall, I probably still do have a good amount of work left to do on the head turns. So I'll have a little bit more time to try to speak with the strand and understand it a little bit better. But the good news is that I've figured it out to an extent because I've gotten this part looking good. So now I can just keep working my way down. Slowly but surely, making my way to the bottom. And I think it's looking pretty good. I'm satisfied. Still gotta do the rest naturally, but for the parts that I've done, I'm very much satisfied. I think it looks good. We'll see what the very picky me of tomorrow feels, but the me of today is quite happy. And that is always a start. After all, just look at the sheer number of things that the me of tomorrow ended up being happy with. It's like I did a bunch of tiny strands yesterday, and I say a bunch, but I think it was only 3. And only one of them ended up needing fixes. So the me of tomorrow may be picky, but she's not completely unreasonable. Now then, I do feel like this little strand right there, where the highlight starts, is still being stretched out a little bit. So I want to try to get that into a better spot. Yeah, something like that. And slowly but surely I will find the right place for each and every spot. That's just how it all goes. So what I'm seeing right now is that there's a little bit of shifting in the lines here. This is probably small enough that I don't need to worry about it. So I should probably stop doing that. I just can't help myself. Yeah, that's good enough. The shifting is pretty minor. But I do want to make sure that this highlight doesn't look like it's being stretched. Right now it does. So that probably means that the side goes a little bit higher. Something like that. Yeah, that's much better. Much better indeed. Okay, so now I can continue further down. Just very slowly and carefully work my way on through. The strand is very, very straight. And the highlight there is also very, very straight. So I'm trying to work that out. Get that perfect angle that it wants to be. Yeah, there we go. Right now I'm going to focus just on this highlight. The one right on the side here. Because I think that will make an excellent anchor for me to worry about how the other side should look. So once that highlight looks like it's moving good, I can start moving over to this side. I don't always do one side at a time. It just seems appropriate for this specific problem. So I'll roll with it. It's like, hey, if there's an idea that works, no reason not to do it. Even if it's a little bit different from what I normally do. Nothing wrong at all. Speaking of doing things a little bit differently, I have my first speed paint from an Inktober drawing up on the channel now. I decided to make these speed paints into shorts instead of longer videos. So that this way I can also post them on like Twitter and Instagram, where more people will see them. I'm hoping this will be a good way to help people discover me. That, and I think some appeal with speed paints is just being able to watch the entire thing happen very, very quickly. It's like, strangely enough, even I don't typically like watching people draw or make stuff like this in real time. I prefer time lapses myself overall. And by speeding it up that much, hopefully people can spare a minute of their day to see how it all worked out. And if any of you listening have a chance, check it out and let me know what you think. Let me know if you think the speed is okay, or if you'd like it to be slower. I'm not sure if I can make it much faster than I already did. I think this is already at like 10,000% speed. So I had to speed it up quite a lot in order to get all the footage under 1 minute. But I do still have a copy of the unedited footage, so I can do it at other speeds, or even potentially upload it a real-time version of it, if that is something that you all are interested in. Just let me know in the comments. And I will take all of your feedback into consideration for what I do next. I think today's Inktober drawing is going to be fun. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more of an ambitious one again, so hopefully I will have enough time and it won't look too, I don't know, rushed. It's probably the good way to put it. I was a little bit sad on day 4 because I felt like if I just had a little bit more time, probably like another hour, I could have made it a lot better. But I did not. I barely managed to get it done as it was. But these are still ideas that I can carry with me. If I'm ever bored and just need something new to draw, I can make more refined versions of some of these and all that good stuff. If I feel like it. Knowing me, I probably won't. I've been kind of in the mood to draw my characters again. Maybe design some new ones. I do like me some character design. See if I can get any more good ideas for the comic kind of idea floating around in my head. All that good stuff. Maybe have some sheets ready for art fight next year or something. I don't know. Basically, I never seem to have any shortage of things to draw, so some ideas just never really get done, and it's pretty rare that I actually revisit old ideas. Like a few years ago, I drew a picture of Tallulah from Arknights that I remember being pretty happy with at the time. And I look at it now and I'm just like, you know, I could do this, this, and this so much better. And it would look so much better if I just made those corrections. Yet here I am. I haven't drawn it. There's been too many other things I want to draw. Maybe someday. But there's only so many hours in the day. Much to my displeasure. I wish there was more. Wish I could do way more stuff. But as long as I am limited by time, there's only so many things I can draw. How unfortunate it is to be mortal. Alright, and with all of that, it looks like I'm getting through all of the hardest parts of this strand. It's all just kind of coming together. Once I figured out that top part, the rest became a lot easier. Just gotta make her nod a little bit, and suddenly everything makes sense. Life is like that sometimes. You know, I kind of figured that after I didn't sleep very well last night, that my brain would just be all over the place again. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. It's able to think more straight than it has for, like, man, probably the past, week or so. So I guess that's probably another reason why everything seems to be going a little bit more smoothly today. I'll take it. I figured I'd be super out of it again today, too. Maybe it means I can handle the more complex picture idea I have for Inktober today. So here's hoping that I can draw it, and I hope you guys will like it. And today I plan to check out the hashtag a little bit. So if you'd like me to take a look at whatever you've been drawing, just let me know. You're welcome to tag me. You're welcome to post some comments on my community posts, where I post my stuff every day. Whatever you want. Whatever works for you. And I'll take a look. Maybe leave some comments. Just as my outro says. Because I know how hard it is to just feel like you're screaming into the void and no one's hearing you. It can be a little bit sad. Oh man, the issues that I'm seeing around the little loop here are all starting to be so minor that I think I'm approaching the end. Yeah. The little strand at the bottom is still bouncing a little bit more than I want it to, but the fact that I'm down there already makes me really happy. I was really worried that this might take a couple of days of flailing to get through. But I guess I'm starting to figure all this out. Feels good. Really does. Always nice when I can surprise myself like this. Alright, I think this is one where I really need to look at the mesh. Just see what's going on here. What's making you squirm, little vertices? My, that is a lot of squirming. Alright. Well, I'm here. I'll help you out. Get you into a more comfortable spot where you won't feel like you have to squirm so much. After all, nobody squirms like that when they're comfortable. Squirming is a sign of discomfort, and I need to hide that bang because I cannot see what's going on here. Yep, that's that's some wrinkling. That's some wrinkling in the hair. Oh my goodness. Alright, well let's fix that up. I don't want to leave anything like that. Looks terrible. Slide everything down a bit, and then I think I need to consult the mesh to try to get the angle of the curl looking a bit better. So this guy goes up here, and so does this one. Let's see here. This is a little bit higher. Looks like it's going to take me a little bit to figure out the specifics of this little strand here. Because right now I'm trying to match the angle of the curl a little bit better. I just feel like it's changing a little bit too much. Much more than I want it to. Okay, I think right now I'm actually going to look at the art. So this is closer to how I want it to look. This is how it looks now. So how do I fix this? It seems to me like this needs to come down here. And we floof things out a little bit over there. Now that I've done the basics with the big brush, I want to get into the specifics and get rid of the crunchiness and the distortion all through here. There we go. Let's test this. It doesn't have to be 100%, but I'd like it to be at least probably 75, 80. Something like that. This little guy just way out there. Looks like he got lost. It's probably my fault, but that's okay. Don't tell him. One moment. Itching my eye there. All right. So this is the joy of working out the last few details. Things don't move around that much, and it's not very exciting. But I do think it makes a difference. Animation is just built so much on just small details stacking up. So I always like to make sure that those details are here. Make sure I get them all right. Because after all, every small detail that I get wrong is going to detract from the overall quality, little by little, and eventually all of those little mistakes will add up. So I do my best to try to get things right. Even if they're small. These strands deserve all the attention and all the love in the world. I don't want to neglect them. That would be a little bit sad, I think. Sometimes I feel like with every little piece of art, we're just creating a new universe all to ourselves. And I can make this universe however I want it to be. When you make your own, you can make it exactly as you want it to be too. So leaving certain areas neglected or just not quite the way you want them, well, I think it's just kind of unfortunate. So I'm just gonna make sure that everything looks good. Alright, how are we doing? Yeah, that's pretty good. Let me just... Oh, no, not that one. This one. Just fix that little bit at the bottom there. I think for this I can mostly just look at the mesh. And just very slowly and gently bring things together. Getting pretty close here. Yeah, and I think at this rate I'll have enough time to do the last little bit on the back hair layer that I currently have hidden, so I can probably work on this middle one that I'm currently working on. I found it a little bit hard to see with that other strand showing, so I just hid it for a little bit. I'll bring it back a little bit later. It's looking like it'll be soon. So that's nice. Alright, how are we doing now? Yeah, I think that's good. Perfect. Let's put the side bang back on. There we go. Yeah. Alright, so now I can turn this one back on. And I can try to get this into its perfect place too. I'm not sure if I'd go as far as to say that I'm on a roll, but I think things are going pretty well. Oh my. Well, that's certainly something. Well, let's turn that on. Trying to figure out exactly what I want to change here. So there's like a bump that needs to be like right up here. Most of this I think is just going to be hidden, but not all of it. Maybe I do need to hide this. Alright, we're gonna face those terrifying wrinkles head on. Let's go. First I'm gonna straighten that out, not because it's necessary, but because it's gonna bug me if I don't. I just can't deal with all that squirming in my peripheral while I'm trying to focus here. Sounds terrible. Alright, let me look at the tip here. Is it going low or high enough? Or do I need it to go a little bit higher? Most excellent. I can make it go a little bit higher. So I can just get a big old brush here. Send things on up. That's probably good right there. Oh no, I need it to go a little bit higher. Actually, looking at it, yeah, these strands are about the same length. So that's actually a good indicator of where I should put this. So bring this up a little. Right about here, I think, is where the tip needs to be. Everything was getting pretty stretched out further up, so I wasn't really worried about using the brush here. Alright, now we just need to stop this part from caving in. And things should be pretty good. I mean, naturally there will be a lot more touching up I need to do, but like this will be most of it, I think. If I can just figure out that spot. Stop this from caving in quite so hard. Just bring it on out. Okay, that still looks super jank, but that's okay because guess what? It's gonna be mostly covered up. So I want to turn the other strand back on so I can actually look in and see which parts I actually need to fix and which parts I do not. Nose just starting to itch again for no reason. I'm still not sure what's up with that. I wish it would stop. Alright, so first order of business. Find the lump. Just find that part that kind of comes out. And get it in there. So right now it's in hiding, and that is not acceptable. I will not allow that to happen. It is against the rules. It might survive today, though. I can tell that I'm getting tired. But I think I have enough juice in me to get this going. I choose to believe for the time being. I don't think my belief is unwarranted either. I've figured out a lot of very difficult things in the past. It is why I still draw. Because art is hard. Art is so hard. Very worthwhile, though. Very fulfilling. Embrace the hardness. It'll be great. Make the thing. You can do it, I promise. I tell myself this a lot too. That's why I keep attempting somewhat ambitious speed paints during Inktober, even though I only have like an hour or two to work on them. I'm looking forward to drawing today's, though. I think it'll be fun. I'd been thinking about the composition a lot today. So I'm looking forward to finally kind of getting that down. I think I managed to solve quite a lot of problems in my head. Haven't had time to actually draw out any of them yet. That's okay, that's what the time I set aside after I eat some food is for. And there's a fly buzzing around my face, and I hope it goes away by the time I need to start drawing today. For the time being, it has landed on my monitor, and it looks very strange. Just a little black dot on my monitor. I'll chase it away later. It's not bothering me that much. I just don't want it to fly around again. One time it nearly flew up my nose, and that was kind of terrible. So I'm content just to let it sit there until I'm ready to do stuff, and it decided to fly away and right into my face. Thanks for that, fly. I was just gonna leave you alone, but if you're that insistent that I don't, well, there we go. It looks like it flew away, so I'm safe for a few minutes. So my husband played more Baldur's Gate 3 this morning. And going through Char's Gauntlet. And I'm just like, the third one. The one with the invisible floor. Like, that was terrible. The other ones weren't so bad. I completely ignored the gimmick for the fight, but that's okay. It's like, why would you defeat yourself when you have friends? Your friends can defeat you. But the floor. Oh god. The movement in that game is not precise enough for what it was asking for. And so I just kept running into issues that I did not feel like were my fault. Maybe they were. But this game was just not designed with precise movement in mind. I mean, sometimes I have issues during fights where the game wants them to take, like, the longest possible way around to get to their destination. So doing that with the weird jank floor was, an adventure. And not the good kind of adventure. The rest of it was alright. Definitely very atmospheric place. Looking forward to seeing what's at the end. Because that's where we stopped. We got all 4 of the orbs, and tomorrow we're gonna go venture beyond. This is one thing that I've noticed in a lot of... I guess I really can't say amateur game design anymore. Because I actually do notice it in a lot of, like, AAA and higher scale indie, in that sometimes people get a really cool idea, but the mechanics don't really suit it. And so it just kind of falls flat, and that's kind of how I felt about the floor room. The other two I was largely just able to ignore. The stealth one I just cast invisibility, because why do shenanigans when you can just be invisible? And the other one, like I said, I completely ignored the gimmick and just took the debuff. It's like I didn't even know that we were getting debuffed until after the fight, so it worked out, I guess. I keep losing this strand in the big old mess of layers here. That's a sign that I'm probably getting a little bit tired. I mean, I tend to lose my layers a lot, but there are limits, you know? I'm not that clueless. Not all the time. Yeah, there we go. Getting there. I can tell that I am slowing down a bit, so I probably won't finish this strand today, but I'd like to get the top part done. Set my future self up for success tomorrow. Do as much as I can manage. Have a good time. I'm always amazed at the way much of this hair is kind of built. I'm not sure how to describe it, but you can see here that this is not just like a straight floof. It kind of goes in and out, and it has a bit of a wave to it. And I think that's kind of interesting. Means that I really do have to pay attention to where I move things around, because sometimes they take shapes that I just don't quite expect. And I end up being a little bit surprised. But yeah, I think I've managed to make pretty good progress today. I'll go for just a little bit longer, make sure I get that full hour. After all, my intro screen, I do generally leave it on for about 3 or 4 minutes. So I like to take that into account before I stop. Because I think doing a little bit of work every day is very important. Even if it's not always my best, and today I'm doing better than I have for a little while. So I'd like to take advantage of that. The upside to doing that is that when inspiration does eventually strike, I'll be there to capitalize on it. And because a lot of these projects are just constantly in my thoughts. I use a lot of I guess I'll say, latent subconscious thought in figuring them all out. And so ideas just kind of come to me, since they're such a big part of my life here. Alright. I got the top part of that done, and I got the difficult strand done. So I will call that a victory for today. And I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on the social media of your choice, and I will take a look and maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.